Let us now restate the RHIC theory as it relates to the rumor. Exactly how could persons like Lee Harvey Oswald be controlled to perform the act of murder? By radiohypnotic intracerebral control. We have seen that radio transmission can definitely produce meaningful stimulation of the brain. For RHIC, the response need not be even as complex as those we have read about. All that is necessary is a simple neuromuscular twitch activated by radio. That's in Chapter 7, Lee Harvey Oswald of Mind Control, Oswald and JFK, where we controlled Ken Thomas and Lincoln Lawrence. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Stench of Truth. There are a lot of things that are going on right now, but I want to definitely impart to you the idea that we still need to be focused on what is vitally important for this country, and that is still the economy. The economy is still the primary focus. That is where we need to have our focus, because everything else is serving as a distraction away from that. There are other very important things, of course, that are going on, like the unrest in Tunisia. And, of course, now we have resurfacing of Baby Doc in Haiti after the devastating earthquake that they had down there. This is not a good portent either. Tunisia may in fact be a color revolution, something instigated by the Western power bloc, the powers behind the scenes in the West to support their own agenda. This has been suggested by others, and I think that it is a very real possibility. But also we have a visit from our future overlords and masters, the Chinese, coming here. And the usual kind of political posturing that you would expect from certain members of Congress who want to pass some kind of bill that would force something on China in regards to trying to put a lid on their currency manipulation and to prevent that from negatively impacting the United States in some way, presumably. It's all a bunch of bullshit is all it boils down to. And it's nothing but political fucking posturing. Okay? The bottom line is, if you're going to talk now, if you're going to get up now and stand up and finally say, you know what? We need to get tough with China. Well, then why don't you get fucking tough with China? Why aren't you talking about the thousands and thousands and thousands of fucking jobs that you sold out to fucking China? Why don't you get tough on that? Why don't you get tough on China by sanctioning every fucking U.S. company that takes their business out of the United States and roots it in fucking China? If you want to stand up and get tough with China, why don't you do something about them buying up so much of the fucking United States? Instead, you want to do something stupid and fucking symbolic. It's pointless and fucking meaningless. And yet this is the climate we live in, where everything is about political fucking posturing. There are other important things going on around the world that people don't even seem to be talking about. Mainstream news barely mentions it. Australia. Massive floods. Flood warnings in all kinds of places around the fucking world. This goes along with what I was talking about before about the jet stream and about messing up the weather, about destroying the fucking biosphere of the planet by installing chaos into a system that was well regulated and had been for what, 1 billion, 2 billion years maybe? By fucking with it. Quit fucking with stuff. Quit fucking with our atmosphere. with harp and every other fucking thing that you have. Quit fucking around under the sea with your ultra low frequency communication devices. So, what's the point? Political posturing for what? For nothing. For bullshit and for nonsense. When you could be tackling real issues. You could be trying to set a tone for making real change. Or you could be addressing some other greater problems around the world. Like people suffering. And people dying. And for that matter, how about in this country? How about the vast hordes of people who've been unemployed and who have fallen off the fucking radar because they are beyond the 99-week unemployment insurance extension? How about all the discouraged who are thrown out of their houses? How about all of the people who are robbed of their fucking possessions? Instead, you want to quibble about Chinese currency manipulation as if this is a crucial thing in the history of the fucking planet. And that's basically that. It's all a big show, folks. If you never realized it before, realize it now. The catastrophes that happen, like these floods in Australia and elsewhere, where people and property is threatened, there is no bailout, there is no help, there isn't even any compassion from the super powerful, super rich overlords that we live under. But there sure is one hell of a show by people whose only job it is to walk out in front of the crowd, take the heat on occasion, and that's it. They do what they're told and put on a nice show. And it's getting old, and people are waking up to that fact.